In the last video, we learned about electrostatics. What is electrostatics? It is the study of electric charges at rest. Now, when we talk about the electric charges, we talk about electrons which are negatively charged. Now, how do I charge a neutral body? Let us take, I have taken a sphere here and I wanted to charge it now. When I add electrons, this object, it becomes negatively charged. Let us say this body is A. The body A is negatively charged when I add electrons to it. Now let me take another neutral body and I wanted to make it positively charged. So what I can do is I can remove again electrons. When I remove electrons, it becomes positively charged because it is short of electrons. It is short of electrons. Now a neutral body can become negatively charged or it can become positively charged. Let us say this sphere is B. Now, ultimately, in electrostatics, when we say a body is charged, it is transfer of electrons. Only electrons are transferred. Now, the charge of the electron is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. Coulomb is the unit of charge. Now, yesterday we studied about quantization of charges. Now what do you mean by quantization of charge? What is the charge on the body A, QA? That is, it is negative. So negative minus n into E. The number of charges can be 1, 2, 3, 500, 200, millions. All so many number of charges can be added. Now I use the same quantization of charges, and in the case of the charged body B, which is positive, now I have removed electrons. So plus Ne. So Q is with the plus or minus Ne, where n is the integer values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and likewise. Having learned about a body getting positively charged and negatively charged, let me say a rule or a law. What it says, like charges repel and unlike charges attract. What does it mean actually? Let us say I have two balls in my hand. Let us say this body is charged with negative, and let us say I have charged this with positive. Now, a positive charge and a negative charge, they are unlike charges, so they will attract each other. These are called point charges. Like charges will positive will repel. Negative will repel, but a positive and a negative will attract. So this is one of the basic rules of electrostatics, which is like charges repel and unlike charges attract. Okay, now let's move to how can we charge a body. Now what are the methods of charging a body? There are two ways you can charge a body. One is charging by conduction and another is charging by induction. Conduction, induction. Now in this video, let us see how can we charge a neutral body by conduction. The word conduction is to conduct, to pass. I am going to take this body A. I wanted to charge this body as a negative charge. So I take a charged rod which is a negative rod, and I bring this rod close to the neutral sphere I have taken and I touch that. The moment I touch that, the electrons are transferred or jumps into the neutral sphere. So when the electrons jump into the neutral sphere, naturally the sphere gains electrons and it becomes negatively charged. This will take place when you touch the sphere. Now what about positive? We always talk about transfer of electrons. So how a positive charge, it cannot transfer. So in the case of the neutral sphere B, since positive is here and this body being neutral, the electrons will jump from the sphere to the rod. When the electrons jump from the sphere to the rod, naturally this loses electrons and it becomes positively charged. So, you find that in both the cases, whether it is negatively charging or positively charging, you will find that in conduction, when you touch, the electrons either jumps into the object or from the other neutral object, it comes into the rod. You will see very clearly that in the case of charging by conduction, the rod which you have taken and the sphere which you are charging, they gain the same type of charge. If you take negative, and the sphere also will become negative. And if you take a positive rod, and the sphere also will become positively charged. So one should understand very clearly that in charging by conduction, this is the process.